The Penn Relays entry list just dropped, and track fans are losing their minds, because what is on this list does not belong at a college track meet. 130 years old, and it has never looked like this. Before you understand why this entry list is sending people into a frenzy, you need to understand what the Penn Relays actually is. The Penn Relay Carnival is the oldest and largest track and field meet in the United States. It has been held every year since April 21, 1895, at Franklin Field in Philadelphia. That is 130 years, persevering through 2 world wars and interrupted only by COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 and 2021. Every other spring since the 19th century, athletes have shown up to this same field in this same city and raced. The first meet drew 5,000 people, the largest track and field crowd Philadelphia had ever seen. 9 relay races were held, all of them run as mile relays with 440-yard legs. Harvard beat Penn in the championship race with a time of 3 minutes and 34 seconds. Today, more than 15,000 athletes compete across 3 days, and attendance regularly tops 100,000 fans by the end of Saturday. That growth happened because the Penn Relays did something no other meet in America had done. It welcomed everyone: high schools, colleges, international teams, professionals, masters athletes in their 70s and 80s. The term carnival was officially added to the meet's name in 1910, borrowed from the tent city that had sprung up around the infield, giving the event the festive energy that still defines it today. That same year, the sport's first formal relay racing code was adopted, creating the exchange zones every relay in the world still uses. The baton itself was not introduced to the Penn Relays until 1913. Before that, a runner simply touched the next teammate to hand off. Every procedural element taken for granted in modern relay racing was worked out at this meet, on this field, over the course of decades. Franklin Field itself is a landmark. Built for the first meet in 1895, it became the first permanent college stadium in the country when it was rebuilt in 1903 into its famous horseshoe shape, and the first stadium in America with a scoreboard. The Eagles shared it with Penn football from 1958 to 1970, and the 1960 NFL Championship was played there. It is one of the most historically dense sports venues in the country, standing as the undisputed home of this legendary meet. The Penn Relays stopped being just a track meet a long time ago. In 1964, Kingston College from Jamaica competed for the first time and took gold in the 440-yard relay. That was the beginning of something that would transform the event entirely. Over the next 6 decades, Jamaican schools became the dominant force in the high school sprint relays, winning nearly every major relay title on offer. Today, roughly half of the spectators at Franklin Field on Saturday are Jamaican or Caribbean. The stands fill with black, green, and gold. The crowd noise on the back straight when a Jamaican school hits the final exchange is unlike anything else in American track and field. For this year's meet in 2026, Jamaican schools are once again poised to challenge for relay supremacy, with 15-year-old Kingston College standout Jason Pitter already drawing attention after his performances at Jamaica's Boys and Girls Championships this season. The meet director, Steve Dolan, framed the moment plainly: the 130th Penn Relays is a celebration of legacy, passion, and unbreakable spirit of competition. The organizers have been reshaping the meet since 2022, and this year's version reflects those changes. College men and women now compete side by side on Friday and Saturday, instead of on different days. That change, made in 2022, created a better viewing experience and gave the meet a stronger midweek opening. The Olympic Development Section, which runs professional post-collegiate athletes in standalone races, has grown in stature each year. These are not exhibition events. This is where former Olympians and current world-class professionals line up against each other in front of a packed stadium crowd that already has 60,000 fans in the seats from the high school and college action. The high school boys' major events are featured on Saturday this year as part of a rotating format introduced in 2023 that alternates the spotlight between girls and boys in different years. All 3 days stream live on FloTrack and the FloSports app. The college entry list for 2026 stretches across hundreds of programs from every division and conference. The Championship of America events are the highest level of college competition at the meet. To reach the Championship of America final in a relay, a team must qualify through the preliminary rounds earlier in the day. Only the top finishers advance. It is the equivalent of making a national final, and for many programs, it is the most important relay result of the outdoor season outside of the NCAA championships. Power programs from the ACC, SEC, and Big Ten are all represented. Schools like NC State, Texas A&M, Penn State, Virginia, Arizona State, and Georgetown have sent relay squads, so have dozens of smaller programs from the CIAA, MEAC, Ivy League, and Patriot League. Because the Penn Relays is one of the few meets where a Division II school and a Power 5 school can line up in the same heat and compete. That has always been part of the appeal. Georgetown's men's 4x800 meter team arrives as defending champions in the Championship of America, with middle distance runner Tenoda Matsatsa as the lone returning member of last year's winning squad. Penn, the host university, has entries across sprints, relays, and field events. For the Quakers, competing at Franklin Field carries a weight no other school can replicate. This is their stadium, their meet, and the crowd is always watching. The Olympic development entries are what sent track fans into a spiral when the full list dropped. The women's triple jump features Thea LaFond of Dominica, the reigning Olympic champion. LaFond made history in Paris when she brought her country its first ever Olympic medal. If she wins the Olympic development event at Franklin Field, she would become the first Olympic development champion from Dominica in meet history. The high jump brings together two athletes who have been at the top of American jumping for years. Vashti Cunningham, the reigning world indoor high jump champion, is entered in the women's event. Cunningham has a unique connection to Philadelphia. Her father, Eagles legend Randall Cunningham, starred in this city for a decade, and he coaches her now. She has described competing in front of the Philadelphia crowd as one of her favorite events on the calendar for exactly that reason. On the men's side, Shelby McEwen, the Olympic high jump silver medalist from the Paris Games, is entered. The distance events bring Nozomi Tanaka of Japan, one of the top middle distance runners in the world. Tanaka holds Japanese national records and has finished inside the top 8 at both the Olympics and World Championships. The 800-meter Olympic development race includes Sean Dolan, son of meet director Steve Dolan. He was the anchor leg of the current world record indoor 4x800-meter relay team. The home field factor does not get more literal than that. The outdoor season is 3 weeks old. The Penn Relays entry list is the first real snapshot of who is healthy, fit, and ready to compete at a high level. The Penn Relays is the only meet in America where winning means something different depending on who you are. For a college relay team, a Championship of America title lands on the recruiting trail. For a Jamaican high school sprinter, it is national validation that draws college coaches. For a professional, it is early season proof that winter training translated. The same track, the same timing system, but the stakes mean something different to every team. That layered competition has kept over 100,000 people showing up to Franklin Field for more than a century. Coming off an indoor season where Jordan Anthony dethroned Noah Lyles and Cooper Lutkenhaus won World Indoor Gold at 17, the outdoor calendar feels loaded with possibility.